Welcome to the Collector's Cards YouTube channel. This is the New Collector Podcast, episode 3. Today we're talking about graded cards, but first, we have to do something that we forgot about last time.
We totally forgot to do our pack battle. So today, I was lucky enough to pick up the new, I always mispronounce this one, Victini.
Victini. Yeah.
Yes, the new Victini box today when it came out, and I was able to pick up a tin for us. So I already ripped the plastic off it, so nobody has to watch me struggle.
Save on that.
And we're gonna do a pack battle. We're hoping for good hits in this one. You want Black Bolt or White Flare?
Black Bolt.
I want Black Bolt.
Always been a Zekrom kind of guy.
And I want White Flare. Perfect.
What is code cat? Their trick? Pack trick? What do you know about?
I don't do a pack trick anyway. I usually just go through because at the end is the good ones anyway.
Got Karrablast.
Oh wait! I forgot. You look at mine and I look at yours, and that's how we do this. We got all mixed up here. Yeah. See, this is because we missed it last time.
Got Trash Man.
You got your fingers over it. Oh, Karrablast.
I saw that one. Oshawott. All right.
Larvestar or Larvesta.
Yeah. Yamask.
Fracture.
I got a 100% IV. Yamask. Go Bogo. Boldor.
Ooh. Tidepool. Tidepool?
Temple?
He's a tadpole.
Temple. You got Boldor.
Ooh.
Oh, you got Big Trash Man.
Alumola.
You got Big Trash Man.
Ooh, Big Trash. Garbodor. Ooh, I do like Garbodor, actually. He's one of the modern ones
the trash
I really
Pokemon
enjoy.
have grown on me.
What'd you get? Bravery.
All right. Simisear.
I like Simisear a lot. Simisear's a great one. Oh, Lilligant.
Yeah, perfect. One of those in Pokemon too. It's crazy. Sock.
Ooh, you got a Pokeball. A Minikuno.
No
So that's the new Pokeball art there.
Huh.
It looks awesome.
Cool.
Kind of covers the whole card. Yeah. They do really nice stuff. Go ahead and make sure the audience can see that.
Shimmer a little bit.
They get a really nice look to them. My only concern with that new look is they're kind of plasticky and they have a weird sheen. And I'm wondering how differing them from fakes is going to be. Yeah. We're going to have to figure out what the clear sign of real is in these ones.
Huh.
Sock. Ooh.
Fungus. Zorua.
Ooh, it's a Pokeball.
Pokeball Zorua.
Yeah.
Nice.
Zorua Pokeball.
Pretty cool.
Nice. And see, that's it on the dark art. It looks nice. It is a really nice.
What do we got?
Ooh, foil Conkeldurr?
Yeah, Conkeldurr.
See, I didn't play this era as much. Oh, sorry, I got another one here.
Seawaddle.
And then I just got a basic energy, dark energy. What'd you get for your energy? Fire, nice.
Conkeldurr.
So we both got a Pokeball. I think we tied. I think we tied on that one.
Fair enough. I don't know. I put the Zorua Pokeball over the Machino Pokeball though.
I put the Machino over the Zorua. They're both really nice photos, though.
You guys decide.
See, and
that's for you to decide.
This is where it comes in, where like you gotta collect what you like.
Fair enough.
Because like
I'd go for the Zorua.
I'd pay more for the Machino. I mean, like I'd pay like $2 for that card, whereas like you'd be like, nah, I wouldn't pay $2 for that, but I'd probably pay $2
sell it to you for $2.
Right, and you'd probably
buy it?
you're keeping them for the channel.
You sure you don't want to buy it?
Keeping them for the channel.
All right.
Perfect.
When we get the pack battle through. Today we're going to be talking about graded cards.
Graded cards, yes. So we're going to be talking about graded cards, the different companies, what is a graded card, how to grade your own cards, and all the things that go along with it. So, Zach,
I've never graded a card.
Perfect.
I thought about it. It was too expensive when I wanted to.
Well, way too expensive.
Way. way
we're
too expensive.
You were right in the boom, weren't you?
Yeah, way too expensive.
And see,
I looked at it, I'm like, if a card's that much, it's. I'm okay.
And prices are still going up. They just increased their pricing again.
Nice.
I think the last I heard we were at $21 to grade. To grade through GameStop, it's $19.99 a card. Currently.
I mean, not great, but
yeah,
that's what it is. They gotta make
not
some money
great,
too.
but it's honestly their system for grading is kind of nice.
Good.
I've graded through them a couple times now, and I've had no problems. I've heard of problems happening, but I've had no problems myself.
You're gonna hear what you're gonna hear.
Exactly, and everybody has an individual experience because, like, the thing most people don't think about GameStop is GameStop has a manager, and that manager controls a lot.
Yeah, he does.
That manager controls a lot when it comes to how the store runs and functions and things like that. So they may or may not run. Yeah.
It all depends on
may
who
not be
works there
doing the right thing.
at your local
is the
GameStop.
best way to do it.
Yeah. Might not have your best interest at heart.
Right. So.
All right. Well, let's get into, like, what is a graded card?
Exactly. Graded card is when you send a card to an independent company, and there is a multitude of these companies, including PSA, which is the leading company right now for Pokemon. Then there's BGS, which is Beckett, CGC, which is the card grading company, AGS, TAG, SGC, SGA, and then there's many regional grading companies that are like there's a Maine grading company, there's a New England, there's a Florida, there's a Virginia, there's grading companies all over the place.
Right.
And they offer the same service, but it's different. And the reason that I said it's an independent company when we started is because grading isn't always a perfect science.
Yeah, fair enough.
Certain companies do it differently. Notoriously, Beckett has some of the hardest standards with cards, but they have a special form of grade, whereas all other grades are 1 through 10.
Yeah.
1 through 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, as of the scale of how a card looks, or how it is in its printing.
Right.
Even a printing error,
right.
Even though the card
off.
Is brand new,
there's no scratches, no dimples. If your centering is off,
correct,
you can lose that top grade.
Yes, it comes down to how it was printed, how you handle it, how it was shipped inside of its
Even
pack.
if you do everything perfectly, it might not be a 10.
Exactly. Anything can come in as a factor. So just because you're like, oh, this is brand new, doesn't mean it's going to 10. That's not what that means.
Right.
There's a very strict code that they conform to, and each company's different in what their exact specifications are on how much centering you need and everything like that. But Beckett doesn't just have 1 through 10. Beckett has another grade called a Black Label 10.
Yeah, Beckett Black Label.
Yes. Now, a Black Label, and this doesn't go for every card. This is kind of a blanket statement. I just want to make that totally clear. A Black Label generally will go for $2,000 more than whatever the card goes for.
Just for being the Black Label.
Just for being a Black Label.
Just
and that's typically when you're talking about like a basic level card. When you're talking about something that's not history changing or one of those big chase cards, if you're talking about one of just like, you know, a Machamp from a mid-era set that just happened to Black Label 10, it's still going to have that over $2,000 price tag.
But if you get shiny Charizard, Beckett Black Label 10,
then you're talking about an astronomical increase because there's only a very finite number of those,
if any.
And there's a lot of those Black Label collectors, believe it or not.
Well, graded collectors would ideally go for the highest grade possible.
So going over some of those, when we're talking about Beckett slabs, this is what a Beckett slab looks like. So Beckett slabs are absolutely beautiful. They have a nice back to them. I really enjoy a Beckett slab. they fit together nicely, so they stack.
Yeah.
You can feel they have a nice ridge to
Oh,
them.
yeah.
And even on the back, they even have a little bit more of a ridge.
So they stack in.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool.
And so this is what the label looks like on a sub Black Label 10. Even if this was a 10, it would say Gem Mint 10. This is a Gem Mint 9.5, so it's not quite a 10. It missed in a couple categories, but if this was a Black Label 10, the label would actually be black and the writing would be in gold. It would be reversed. And they're absolutely beautiful. And then going over some of those other examples of good grading companies, there's CGC, another leader in grading. CGC is another great grading company. They also grade just like Beckett, which is what I call opinion-based grading. And opinion-based grading is when two people or more, depending on how a company's policy is, sit down and look at your card with a microscope, and between the two of them agree, okay, I think that this is a 9.
Right.
You think this is a 10. Can we agree that this is a 9.5? And you know, that's how grades are found. If both people are like, well, I think this is a 10, and you're like, I think this is a 10 too, it's going to be a 10. With Beckett, like I said, they may even have an additional conversation where it's like, well, I think this is a 10, and he's like, I think this is a 10, and it's like, well, do we think this is a 10 in all categories? Because a Black Label 10 is a 10 in every single category. Centering, edges, everything. Surface.
You can get a 10 with a couple 9.5s.
Yes, exactly.
Mostly 10s.
Right, and some companies disclose more about it. Like CGC discloses quite a bit. You can scan the QR code on the back of any of these cards. Gives you a great insight as to what they were doing when they graded it. Exactly. And then
that's pretty cool.
We have PSA. Now PSA, as I said, is the leader in Pokemon grading right now. Yeah. They're absolutely beautiful slabs. Gorgeous. Gorgeous slabs. And this slab in particular, I'm sure you noticed, has this purple rim around it. This doesn't come with it. This is called a bumper, and it pops off. Cool. Well, I have another example of one right back here. It's a bumper, and it pops off, and they're made to protect the edges of your grading card, as well as there's usually a see-through protector on it. Yeah. And believe it or not, the see-through protector does not go on the front of the card. The see-through protector goes in the back.
Interesting.
To protect the rear of the card, and the front is a display. Huh. So that's typically how they're stored.
Yeah. Pretty cool. I've never seen the bumpers before.
They're super nice. This one's actually a collector's edition. These ones are really nice. Cool. They only make certain colors of these by certain companies. These can be collectible in themselves. Right. A lot of people that like grading cards try to have a nice array of those and different ones for each Pokemon. So, also, we have a regional grading company here. Now, this is OSG grading, which would be Diamond Service Grading. Sorry, it's DSG. Huh. So it's Diamond Service Grading, and this is just kind of an off-brand slab. Beautiful thing. Beautiful. I love the stickers.
That's pretty cool.
This is Tanglia.
Pretty cool.
And it's in a 9.5. But just because this graded a 9.5 from this off-brand company, which the off-brand companies don't carry the value and the prestige that like PSA carries because they have such a good track record. Yeah. Well, they don't have the best track record, but we'll get into that.
But they're the most popular.
Right, they're the most popular. So if you were to take this out of the slab, which people do, people will break these open and take the card out and try to grade it again. Because it's two people's opinion. Yeah. And that's a big reason with like these companies we're talking about now, which would also be CGC, PSA, and BGS. They have the flaw, I'm going to call it, of being opinion-based. Because if me and you agree, but the two people next to us don't agree, we're going to grade that card differently. Right. And that's how their system is set up. They're very close. and they're very good at being consistent. They have good policies. But when you're talking about the grading between a 9 and a 10, or
Very
a 9.5 and a 10, you're talking about very finite details that both people need to catch and both people need to agree on the severity of. So that comes into play.
And some people can even feel like they get gypped out of a 10 if they think, this shouldn't have been a 10. What's the problem here? They can feel like they get gypped out of a 10.
Right. Recently, there's been kind of a solution to that problem. And I call it a solution, and because long term I believe it will be a solution. But as of right now, I think the system still needs some work. Yeah. And we'll talk about those reasons, but there's AI grading now.
Yeah.
Where they send your card through a machine and it gets scanned.
Yeah.
Front, back, sides, and they go through and they decide through the machine.
AI tells them what it is.
This is what the card is graded.
So if it goes off the same quota every time, theoretically, any card that's a 9.5 sent in as a 9.5 will get a 9.5.
And they've even tested it.
Yeah.
So they've broken their own. The company Tag, which is the one that I think has the most traction at the moment. They're gaining the most popularity. They have a few flaws, I think. A long way to go.
Still relatively new.
And their slabs are a little bit brittle. Yeah. I've held one. They're a little bit thin and brittle. If they just made the plastic a little bit thicker, I think they would be doing fine in that department. But Tag has broken their own slabs and resubmitted their own cards through the machine.
See if they
and
get
gotten the same grades.
Okay.
Now, of course, that's a bias test.
Right, they're doing it.
Right, it's a bias test.
But how are we going to go in to do it?
It's same. And if we're doing it, who says it didn't get damaged in shipping?
Right.
Who says,
those are things to take into account.
It would be something that you would have to do it yourself and maybe do an on-site grading. Maybe they have the machine and the AI running.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Seems like something that would be transportable.
Exactly.
An AI grading machine. That's kind of cool.
Which would be super cool.
Right.
It would be something that you could do on the go.
Yeah.
And it would be awesome.
See it at card shows and whatnot. Card stores could have them. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be super
Tag
cool.
starts sending out AI machines.
Oh, almost like a vending machine. You pay this much, it scans your card, it sets it into a slab.
Listen to us, Tag.
You have it
This
back.
is how you make it. This is how you make it. People hate waiting for their PSA cards to come back. This is how you do it.
It's so true. But
they'll be lined up.
It's so true. I think, though, that technology would have to come a little ways.
Yeah.
To do that.
Have to get a way to slab it too.
If we're right, and you're talking about, these machines would have to be run in a place where the humidity is, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to slab humid air into a slab that will affect it over time. I mean, you see that with comic books, because comic books can be slabbed as well.
Right, you can grade comic books, you can grade packs, you can grade a lot of things.
Yeah, you can even, a great example, you can grade packs from PSA as well. My bad. You can grade packs from PSA as well. Awesome. And the reason you see me kind of covering the top is because people will actually steal the number, because the number for every graded slab refers directly to that slab and that slab only. People will steal that number and try to make fakes of it.
Right.
So I
because that number is a real number.
It is.
So if they were to put a fake fossil pack in a fake slab, print that number, comes up as a PSA slab.
Yeah.
Fossil pack.
And it has
fair enough. I was kind of wondering.
Right. It's something that has definitely happened, and it's becoming more and more of a problem. Yep. With technology coming further, because it's easier and easier for the average person to do something more. Exactly.
More than ever before.
Exactly, especially with 3D printers.
Yep.
With 3D printers out, there's a lot people can do, and I've heard that has been integrated into a lot of ways of people doing things with fake cards.
Yeah. Oh, they're always gonna try.
Exactly.
They're always gonna try.
So that is what a graded card is. Graded card is a card that has been opinionated by another company to be perfect or not perfect.
Right.
And it escalates the value astronomically. Right. A 10 in anything is worth more.
Right, because even if it's a lower brand 10, that still ups the possibility of buying that. If you want to crack it, send it to PSA, you know you have a good card on your hands.
Exactly.
They didn't grade a 6 and call it a 10.
Right.
You know it's pretty close to a 10.
Depending on the company.
Right.
I mean, like I said,
Hopefully
some of the regional grading companies aren't as strict.
Right.
And it makes it seem as though they have a lot of really good grades coming to them when really they're just not being as
kind of
strict.
giving out 10s.
Exactly. And
interesting.
It sounds bad, but it's economics.
Yep.
They have to keep the demand there for their stuff as well.
They got to make money.
And some people use it as a pre-grading service.
Yeah.
So you'll send out to one of these regional services. Right. It'll get a 10, and you're like, cool. I'm going to break that open, and I'm going to send it to PSA.
If you've done enough work with a grading company, a local one, you'll know how they relatively
exactly, and you'll know if you like them or if they do a good process. I'm going to say, because it's all about the process. It's all about how they determine what is a 10 and what's not.
Right.
Really.
What their quota is.
Exactly. But there has been some problems, like I said, with the AI, where I've heard a few accounts of the AI scanning a card, reading it as a 10, and there being a dent that is visible to the human eye. Something that me and you would notice just looking at the card. And the machine never picked it up. Granted, it's AI, so it's going to continue to get smarter, and that's why I think that it really is going to it's going to change how we look at grading in the future. But the other big problem with it is that if you have $3 million in PSA slabs, and that's your collection, is you have a 10, and they're all PSA. Why would you switch over to tag?
Right.
It's going to take something pretty astronomical for anyone to
make the big jump.
Right, to switch over without it being more of a generational thing where, the younger collectors, where like either me or you, because we're still younger collectors, or even the kids start being like, well, I don't like PSA.
Yeah.
I like the way tag looks. They start buying tag, and then PSA will die off,
Hobbies are based off, collecting hobbies are based off what people like.
100%. Collecting hobbies are only based off of
So if people decide, oh wow, a billion of us like tag, tag is going to go up.
And that
people are going to start grading cards with them.
Well, I mean, you can see that, and we were talking about this off camera earlier, but you can see that in the Magikarp from Paldea Evolved.
Very cool.
That Magikarp was kind of a lower end card.
Right.
It wasn't low, but it was, $20, $40 card.
Liking that.
And then people started liking it. Now
bandwagon.
It's top chase.
Yeah, now you get the bandwagon everyone. Yeah.
Yep,
top
big
chase. Crowd to it.
And then they started grading it, and they aren't particularly hard to grade, but they're not particularly easy to grade either. It's kind of that in between. So they went on the 10 hunt, and price started to climb a little bit. Yeah, it's something you can see similar with the Bubble Mew.
Yeah,
it came out with the Bubble Mew card, and
cool card.
The Bubble Mew was a similar thing, except the Bubble Mew was a hard to grade card.
Yeah.
It was a hard to get a 10 card. Just printing, the more they print, the less quality control there is, and you see that
and
right
it's
now.
A difficult card to print anyway.
Right, so because of that, it was hard to 10, and there was more of a 10 chase, because there was only a finite number of them out there in the beginning, and that's what drives price.
Yeah.
If there's 5 of them, and 4 of them sell,
that 5th one is going through the roof.
Right, that 5th one's going to go up, especially if those 4 sell, and those 4 sell to, let's call them life collectors.
Keeper collectors.
People that have enough money where they can buy whatever and say, I'm never selling this no matter what it does. And
sentimental.
Right, and spend that kind of money. And I bet that 5th one, it's going to one of those people too.
Yeah,
because
probably.
He's the person that's going to outbid everybody and say, well, you're willing to pay 5.
I really want this.
I'm willing to pay 6 because I really want it, and I know the other 4 of these aren't going anywhere because they're my friends or this other guy I know across the country.
I know how these people are.
Right.
They're not getting rid of it.
Right. So
it's my chance.
And that's kind of how it is. So that's what drives that demand pricing up. But you also see it where there's just enough people, because saying 4 was just kind of an example.
Right.
That's not a great example, but look at something like, let's just use the felt hat Pikachu as an example. Beautiful card. There's 10 or 14,000 of those in a PSA 10. There may even be more.
Right.
I can't remember how many there were. I looked at it earlier today, but I was looking at a bunch of numbers, so I might be mixing them up. But there's a lot.
Yeah.
And people say that the PSA 10 shouldn't be worth $1,000 because there's so many of them.
Right.
But if you show that card to a bunch of people, and you say, "Would you pay it that? Would you see this being worth $1,000?"
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that would say yes,
Yeah.
and the only reason I can say that is because the price is $1,000 and they're selling right now.
Yeah, they're
so
going.
if the answer wasn't yes,
If they're selling at $1,000, that doesn't make the price not 1,000.
right, exactly, and
Price is 1,000.
and that's why you have to collect what you like we
Right.
were talking about earlier, because if you don't want to pay that $1,000 and be like, oh, this is going up,
Yeah.
and then it go down. And
now you're disappointed.
And you
got
feel like
something
you
I don't
lost.
like.
Exactly.
I feel like you lost.
But if you bought the Pikachu for $1,000,
And even if it goes down, you got a cool.
right, it goes to $800, and you're like, well,
whatever.
I felt it was worth $1,000 when I paid for it, so
right.
you have.
I didn't go into it with the ultimate plan to sell it anyway.
Right. You don't have something that you feel is let's say it goes from $1,000 to $10.
Yeah, you have dead weight.
Right, they do a huge
investment.
print of something. Now it's dead weight. You don't want to be like, wow, this is trash now.
Yeah.
You want to be like, well, at least I have
mine.
it in a 10.
I have mine. Yeah.
You know, and then that's what collecting kind of has to be out. I mean, I have comic books like that.
Right.
And it comes to that with slabs, because that happens a lot.
Yeah.
If you are one of the first people in a set to PSA 10 something, it's going to be worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
That value may come down. It may also go up. But if you sold it and it went up, you can't be mad at yourself like, oh, I should have kept it longer and made more money. You obviously felt that you were willing to take whatever amount of money you took for it when you sold it. So why are you upset?
Yeah, you did it.
The next person did the same thing. They felt that they were
willing to pay that much.
Right, they felt they were willing to take more and nothing less. They were like, well, I paid this for it. I would like to get this for it. And they held their ground, and someone else agreed that, I think it's worth that.
Worth that.
Yeah, and paid for
you
it.
Found the right seller.
Price.
You found the right buyer.
Basic economics, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Basic selling, guys.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of that happens with graded cards, though, because of that intrinsic value attached to perfection.
Right.
A 10, or there's a lot of collectors that either can't afford 10s because they are quite expensive and they get quite crazy, or they have, because this is something that I've encountered before. So I've met somebody like this where they have all the 10s for the entire set already. So what do you collect once you have all the 10s?
The ones.
The ones. Exactly. You have all the absolutely perfect versions of every card.
And the worst
Pick up
ones.
absolutely every worst version of every card, and you have a great comparable scale, and it's a really cool set. So the
They
ones,
clearly get a 1 through 10.
right? So the ones typically will outvalue a 2.
Yeah.
Because there's people that
2,
collect
3,
them.
4. I mean, what's a 2, 3, 4?
Mhm.
The ones, bottom of the barrel.
Those middle grades are the
No, honestly,
hardest
yeah.
ones to sell.
Yeah.
Those 6s, the 5s, those are the hardest ones to get rid of. But when you're talking about vintage cards, vintage cards,
People
it
like
gets a
graded
little
vintage.
bit easier because vintage is really hard to grade.
Right.
They don't want to give out a lot of vintage 10s.
Yeah.
So they're very strict
Finicky.
on their policies on grading those. And it's kind of risky.
Yeah.
Every time you send one out, even if it's brand new out of box,
risk
like I said,
anytime.
right?
It just might not be a 10.
Mhm.
That card might be a 9.
Especially when you're talking about like you're opening a vintage box nowadays.
Yeah.
Like I see it
How
all the
many
time.
hands is that?
Right? How many hands? How many times has it been shipped?
Yeah.
You look at cards nowadays. You have boxes that get destroyed
Dude, it's an antique.
in their original shipping.
Yeah.
Imagine how
Right,
many
it's
times
an
that
antique,
has been
dude.
through. Right. And you
Jeez.
you never know, especially like I saw a video the other day and I had to laugh, and I always laugh at these videos where they open a box and they're like, "Oh my God, this is $40,000 in a PSA 10."
Yeah,
I saw,
but it looks like a 7 centering,
right.
like, but it isn't.
And I've seen the funniest one I saw the other day, and it did look really nice. And I'm not saying that it won't 10, because somebody may see this video and have seen that video as well. I'm not saying it won't 10. I'm just saying it's funny to think about. When they opened a Legendary Collections box.
$100,000 box.
No, they opened a Legendary Collection box. There's a box topper in Legendary Collection. They open it and there's a Charizard on top, and they were like, "This is a $20,000 PSA 10." Yeah, it is. But you're talking about a box topper here.
Yeah.
You're talking about a card that has been floating around in the top of that box for years. Yeah. And who knows? Has it been upside down? Has it been has that card been sitting on its side with the weight of the pack sitting against?
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah.
So the chances of that 10ing, they're pretty slim. The older the card is, and the older the card is, I think the harder it would be to be like, "Oh, if I pull this out, it'll be a 10." Yeah. Your chances get lower.
Are going down every chance it gets passed around.
Exactly. So
shaking the box, whatever.
When you're talking about grading, it's a rough process. It's a risk. It's a big risk, and it costs to grade.
Yeah.
Now, I do have to mention, typically there's like a base grading cost, and last I had graded, it was $18.99.
Yeah.
Now, if I send out a Charizard. Let's just say I sent out a Legendary, or let's say I sent out a Celebrations Charizard. Yeah. This is more of a modern card, but relates to the older 151. If I sent out a Celebrations Charizard and it PSA 10'd, I don't get to just pick that back up from them.
Yeah.
For that $18.99. They charge you the taxes and some fees associated with the value of that 10, and it increases the price to grade that card a little bit.
Yes, it does.
So getting a 10 on a lower card where it's not as big of a deal, it's a much lower cost. But if you get a 10 on something big, you could be talking hundreds of dollars to grade this card, maybe even thousands.
And something else, like that Magikarp you're talking about, if you were to get that in at a 10 early, before that price is hiked way up too, you know, if you get it in as a 10 before everyone boomed on it, the value would inherently be lower.
And it's
as opposed to do it now.
And it's cheaper to 10.
Right.
One thing that I have noticed, I do want to touch on just before we talk about how to grade your own cards, is that with grading, there's a lot of variation in the scale.
Yeah.
And because everyone's scale's different, there's a lot of grading between companies, and they don't really keep track. And this is something that isn't talked about hugely. I don't hear this talked about in a lot of videos or anything like that. Just because the population says that there's 20,000 PSA 9s and 10,000 10s, how many of those 9s were broken open and sent back and got 8s? Or got a 10.
One single card could be a 1 for a 7, 8, and 9. You got different grades.
You could submit the same card 4 times, break it open each time, and submit it. It could get a 9 every single time.
You're driving up the number of 9s.
That's going to count as a 9 every single time you do it.
Interesting.
So the population doesn't always reflect the exact value, because the other thing you have to think about is, if you're looking at a vintage card, like Jake Paul's Charizard, for instance, what happens if his house burns down and that card happens to be part of it? PSA still considers that
as there.
Right. With him particularly, they may remove it from the collection just because he's a very public figure. Right. But let's say...
If you had something like that.
Right. Let's say it was one of you.
And it got destroyed.
Let's say it was one of you, and your house burns down. How does PSA know all the PSA numbers for all the cards you had that were involved in that fire? They
Unless you somehow have them and let them know.
And how many people do that?
Right.
It doesn't.
If your house is burning down, you're more worried about. Yeah, you got bigger problems, bigger fish to fry.
Exactly. So, and on that note, people that have big collections in your house, make sure you have insurance.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I'm not talking just housing insurance. There's actually collectible insurance now. Yeah. So some housing insurance companies will insure some of your Pokemon cards as well. Yeah. They'll come and authenticate them and everything. But there are companies that will insure your collectibles. And with anything else, there's good companies and there's bad ones. So just watch out, read the contracts and things. Figure out on your own discretion which ones you want to use, but make sure your collection is insured, because I know if my house burned down, I wouldn't be able to replace the majority of my collection. It would be gone forever, and it would be something that a lot of people go through. But speaking on graded cards, how do you grade your own cards? Exactly, and that's the question a lot of people ask themselves.
Right.
So there's a couple different processes to grade cards. First one I'm going to talk about is the one we talked about earlier. I touched on it a little bit and then just kind of skipped away. And that was in-person grading. Yeah. Now, companies like PSA, BGS, and a lot of these regional companies will come to card events and they'll send a staff member to the card event. They'll sit down, you pay them, you do the paperwork, you give them your card, they'll take it and they'll mail it back to you when they'll mail it back to you when it's done. Huh. There is on-site grading where they will grade it on the spot, but sometimes if there's a queue that builds up,
they'll specify.
Right.
They'll let you know.
They'll let you know, and they'll do it that way. So that's one way. Another way is you can do it directly through most of their websites.
Yep.
You go on, you fill out the form, you pay, pack everything up, and you send it out to them the way that they specify, or sometimes they send you a box.
Right.
And different companies do it different ways depending on the company. There's also an extension to that where, like, PSA has a grading club where if you're a club member, you get a slightly discounted rate on so many cards a year, and there's perks. You get their magazine or things like that, and a lot of the grading companies do it.
Okay.
Now, the larger your account is, the more of a discount you get. And that's just kind of understood. It's not something that a ton of people talk about once again, but it's understood that if I grade 4 cards a year, mine are $18 a piece. But if I grade 1,000,000 cards a year, maybe they'll give them to me for $10 a piece instead.
Same as buying in bulk.
Right. So it depends on who's grading it. Some people make a great business out of that.
Yeah.
Some people make a great business out of that, and some people I would prefer to send my card through some of those middleman people that do that over sending it to the company.
Right, yourself.
Mm-hmm. And that's another way is you can
become a reputable grade middleman.
Right. You can reach out to one of these reputable grade middlemen, and what they do is they take in orders of cards from other people. Typically their rate's a little bit higher, so if it's $18 to grade it yourself, it'll be $27 or $25 or something like that. But typically they'll take your card in and they'll look it over and they'll reach back out to you and say, hey, I grade 50,000 cards a year.
These aren't worth grading.
I don't think that this card is going to get a 10. Were you hoping for a 10?
Right.
And if you're like, no, I just wanted it graded, they're like, perfect, I'll get that sent right out for you. They'll send it out and they're great about it. But if they look at it and they're like, hey, I know that when you dropped this off to me, you said, I really hope this 10s. I just want a 10. I can see in the top corner that there's a ding, and they're going to knock you for that. I don't think they're going to 10 this. Would you like to send a different card instead, maybe? And some of them are really cool about that. I've dealt with some like that that are really nice, and the more you deal with them, the better relationship you get, as with anything. So that's probably the third way I said. Third way to submit your own. And then the final way is sometimes, or not final, there's two ways. This is kind of a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
You can also go through your LGS or GameStop.
Huh.
GameStop now submits cards, and it's a nice, simple process. It's $19.99.
They're the middleman.
Yep, they're the middleman. They send them out for you. I've graded with GameStop a couple times now just to test it out, and no problems at all. Yeah, no different than the exchange I've had dropping them off directly to PSA.
Right.
There's a little, I'm dealing with a GameStop employee. That's the only real difference. He knows a little bit less about the process.
Right.
Other than that, it's a great
He's
experience.
just a GameStop employee.
Right. And not all GameStops do it.
Yeah.
It's usually, I think they have one in all 48 states.
Yeah.
I can't vouch for Hawaii or Alaska.
Yeah.
But I think they have one in all 48 states now where there's at least one grading location. Yep. We have one in our state. And then your LGSs, sometimes they'll be that middle.
Right, they could have relationships with PSA or whoever.
Right, sometimes they send out for themselves.
Right.
They have a lot of cards open at their location. Yeah. They open a lot of cards. Maybe they do a rip and ship.
Yeah.
And they'll PSA with that. So it's one of those things like that.
Right.
So that's probably the main ways to grade cards. You either send them out yourself, go to a card show or an event where a grading company is present there and doing grading, either on site or send away. Go online and submit them online, or do it through an LGS or GameStop. Right, exactly.
Quite a few ways.
Yeah, quite a few ways to go over it. And 1 second, check this. So we kind of touched on the final subject here. This is kind of leading into the next episode we talked about. Yeah. We wanted to start kind of leading into our next episode, giving us a little bit more to extend into fake graded cards. So next episode we're going to be talking about scams and fake cards in general. But since we were going over PSA cards today, we wanted to talk about how PSA graded cards are now coming up as fakes.
Right, you kind of touched on it with the numbers.
Yeah. So there is fake cards coming out, and it's very hard to tell the difference because the slabs look so clean.
Right.
People get very, very, very good at this.
A lot of technology out.
And a lot of people will do it trial and error. I mean,
until they get it good.
You don't want to think about it this way, but it's the reality of it. It's like printing $100 bills.
Yeah.
Once you get it right, you're...
On a much smaller scale, really. You're going for a tag that big in a case.
Right, exactly. If you can just get it right, it's money every time. Yeah. And so that motivates people to do it. And it's a terrible thing. Yeah. Terrible. Okay. Luckily, there's a lot of ways that companies try to ensure that you can't fake. Yeah. One of the ways is PSA now right back here where it says PSA. If you shine a light on that, there's little tiny PSAs around it embedded into the tag. And it's something you can only see with an ultraviolet or a blue or black light, and it's very, very hard to replicate. Cool. So it's things like that you need to make sure you look for, because just because you're like, oh, this is a PSA 10, doesn't mean it is what it looks like. One of the other great methods,
realness to it. You start looking, it could be fake.
The other thing is always look up the number.
Yep.
So if you look up the number, sometimes if I see the number for one of my graded cards pop up on a different card, I can call PSA and say, hey, this other one isn't real, I have the real one, and they'll flag my card number.
Yeah.
When they flag that card number, if anyone ever looks up that card number, it will tell them this is a fake card.
Yeah.
Forever. Huh. And then I can have the real one resubmitted back to PSA, and they'll reslab it. It's I'm pretty sure you have to pay for the process, but it is a way to keep those fake
Kind of like
numbers
getting your
out.
card skimmed.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think I just had happen to me.
Oh, man.
Keep getting charges at McDonald's. I'm like, huh, I haven't been to that one in a while.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
See, and
it's
that,
rough.
and see,
Happens anywhere, man.
wherever there's money to be gained,
Yes, exactly.
someone's going to have some kind of scam or fake or some way to try to get money out of you that
It's rough.
you wouldn't
It's rough.
give them.
Right. But before we end this episode, we need to continue pack battle at the end. of every
Pack
episode.
battle at the end. So we're going to switch it up, though, aren't we?
Yeah.
You brought a little something
did.
special.
So I found these at an interesting spot. Walgreens.
Walgreens.
Occasionally, Walgreens, CVS will occasionally carry trading cards.
And I haven't opened any Tarkir Dragonstorm.
It's fun.
It's the only set of the newer sets I haven't
Yeah, these
opened.
are so
I
nice,
love to play Magic as well as collect Pokemon, play Pokemon. You guys haven't been able to experience it yet, but we will be putting out more podcasts in the future, hopefully to do with Magic and Lorcana as
Right.
well. Right now we're just focusing on Pokemon as we get Zach
Right.
back into collecting here and trying to take that journey here with him.
As we develop the channel more, we'll have a lot of broad subjects.
All right.
Ready?
Wait.
I know, huh?
How's it feel?
It feels heavy. Mine feels heavy.
Does it? Ooh, I don't know. That one feels pretty light.
I don't know. Maybe it's like this is a good hit.
I don't know. This one also feels nice, nice and square.
I got a goblin token.
Ooh, I do like goblins. You know me, I'm all about the goblins.
Now, I don't know of any card trick.
Oh, we're just going
We're
for it.
going for it.
Okay, so we still gotta hold it up for the camera here, even though.
I do want to be able to see him though.
Honestly, we're probably gonna have less people that know what these are. So if you guys don't know, before we go into this, Magic: The Gathering is another card game similar to Pokemon with a slightly more advanced rule set.
Right.
Taking place in its own universe, and it's a very fun game to play. Me personally, I like to play the card game of Magic just as much as I like to play Pokemon.
Right.
Just as much.
Big magic.
So, I got
Riverwalk
an elemental elk. I got a creature right off.
Yeah. Riverwalk technique.
Ooh, Gryling Dawnbreaker.
Ooh, yeah, it's a
Nice
double
dragon.
ones. Still haven't gotten a creature yet.
Seized Opportunity.
Narset's Rebuke. Listen to that. 5 mana, deal 5 damage to creature and add 3 mana. Dear Fool.
Ooh.
Wild.
Outrider.
Delta Bloodflies.
Undergrowth Leopard. I like that one. That
awesome,
one's a
dude.
really cool art.
You
That
see
one's
that?
a cool art.
You see that?
Ooh.
Oh shit. Sultai Devotee.
Dagur Island Dragon.
Ooh.
I'm excited about this one because I don't have dragons.
A
Ooh, I got a
Boulderborn
Yeti.
Dragon.
This one's a Yeti. I've never
That's
seen
cool.
that before.
Pretty cool.
It's a Yeti.
Bellius Strike.
Unsparing Boltcaster.
Frontline Rush.
Whale of War.
Opulent Palace, a triple mana. Nice.
Ooh, a triple
Nice.
mana.
Black, green, blue.
That's good. Whirlwind Stormblood. Mardu Monument.
Stadium Headliner.
Alright, I'm going for it. I gotta know what this is.
I know.
At the
I
beginning,
got a mythical rare.
Stillness Motion, and then. Ooh!
That's cool looking, man.
Feral Deathgorer.
That's cool looking.
Feral
man.
Deathgorer. I think I got a good hit in that one.
That's a nice one.
Let's say Flying. Ooh.
That is nice.
Wow.
That's very cool. I pulled a
This
Rock
is a
Curse,
really great card.
Rakshasa.
Something
It is a
we're gonna have to
mythical
play
rare.
with.
To note. This is a mythical rare. Very cool.
So glad you brought these.
Right?
So glad you brought these.
Had to stop at Walgreens for a drink on the way. I saw him hanging there. I couldn't say no.
But thank you for joining us,
Yes.
everybody.
Hope you all enjoyed.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It really helps the channel out. We really appreciate it. We hope you have a great night.
Peace.